How you guys doing today? Today I want to talk about 5 myths about credit. So stay tuned. My name is Jay, and welcome to Ask a Debt Collector. Now, I've been in the debt collection industry for over 15 years. I've done it all, from skip tracing to collecting to management, and I've owned 2 debt collection agencies. For the past 8 years, I've been the go-to guy for friends and family for questions regarding debt and credit, and now I want to be that person for you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. Let's go. Now, if you haven't had the time, be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Like this video because obviously it'll help with the algorithm with regards to getting this video out to more and more people to get this knowledge with regards to credit, which I believe is very vital for you to have. Down below, I have some free items for you guys. A free pay to delete, a free goodwill letter, a free cease and desist letter, as well as a free consultation with regards to repairing your credit. If you're interested in that, the information will be down in the description. Be sure to check that out. 2 other things, Frugally Keto. If you're looking at losing weight, don't have the time to go in the gym, down below, click the link, learn about Frugally Keto. And lastly, our podcast, we will be recording. A podcast should be uploaded on Wednesday or Thursday of this week. I'm not really sure what day we're going to upload them, but books, dreams on financial things, any information is down below. Now, let's get to the 5 myths of credit cards. Now, the reality is credit cards can be difficult to understand, right? Please understand, it took me a long time to understand and get the knowledge that I have with regards to credit. And believe it or not, constantly, every single day, I'm learning more and more with regards to credit and debt in general, okay? And learning the ins and outs about credit and so forth. But let's get into the 5 myths of credit. Number 1, checking your credit report hurts your score. Checking your credit report does not hurt your score. Understand, every single consumer once a year can check your credit report for free through freecreditreport.com. It's done by Experian. They'll allow you to get all 3 of your credit reports and everything that's reported on there. There is a time frame with regards to how long you can get it for free, but you can always get that all 3 credit reports. And then obviously if you don't pay for the services that they have, Experian will give you a copy of that credit report. And something that I tell people to do too is to go through Credit Karma. Yes, I know it's a Vantage score, but in that one you'll get Equifax and TransUnion for free, and you can check that out as much as you want. I check my credit score maybe once or twice a week and check and see anything that's happening. And if anything happens to my credit report anyways, I'll get an alert, an email showing that something happened, whether it was I applied for a new credit, I got a credit increase, or something along those lines. Checking your credit will not hurt your score, so don't believe that. Number 2, keeping a small balance on your credit cards will help your score. Now, a lot of times when you see stuff, even when in the beginning of this, one of the things is when in my beginning with regards to a journey with my credit card, I literally thought that keeping a balance on my credit card is good for the creditor because in that way they can make some interest. And the whole point of them is making money from you. And obviously that's going to help them grow. So in the beginning, I would keep a small balance on some of my credit cards. But one of the things that I learned is with my mother-in-law, she said that she would never leave a balance and she would pay her balance off all the time. And she's a person who has like an 800 FICO score or better. She's been doing this credit thing for a very long time. Never taught anyone, just stuff that she learned on her own, and she just keeps good credit on her own. And she told me she kept a 0 balance on her credit cards. And so then, of course, I went to look in to understand if, in fact, that was true. One of the things that I learned is with Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, every time you slide the card, there's a merchant fee that whoever has the actual merchant machine, they have to pay money to Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express. So the interest off of the credit cards is they don't make much money per se as a whole with regards to that, and compares to how many times people slide their cards. And obviously, there's so many Americans who have credit cards in general who slide the card. That's why a lot of merchant machines, they'll charge a 1 to 3% fee on whatever was being charged. And that's how MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Discover typically make their money. It's per each transaction they charge a merchant fee. So leaving a balance on your credit card doesn't do anything but make you pay interest on what it is that you've charged in general. So if you can, use your credit cards like your debit cards. Don't leave a fee. Pay the balance off each month. That way you save yourself a lot of money. Number 3, closing credit cards with high interest rates will enhance your score. The reality is it's not true. When you close out credit cards, you affect your utilization on your cards as well as your history. And those are two important things that make up your FICO score. And so by closing out an account just because it has high interest rate does not enhance your score at all. I personally don't worry about the interest rates as a whole unless I know I'm going to borrow and I'm going to have to pay back the interest rates. Why? Because I use my credit cards like debit cards, and so I pay them off at the end of the month, so I don't get charged any interest. Myth number 4, opening a new retail card improves your credit. A retail card is what we consider a charge card. It's a card that you specifically can only use for a specific company. For instance, a Macy's card. When you get a Macy's card, it's a charge account that you can only use at Macy's only. But opening a new retail card does not improve your credit score depending on who you are. Now, if you're trying to build credit, yes, in the beginning, obviously setting it up and paying it is always great. I always tell people if you have credit established, you're in the 720 or above, for the most part, I wouldn't recommend opening a retail card. Number 1, because the interest rates are always sky high, typically with regards to those cards. And then secondly, if you have a history of building credit, if you start that up, that becomes a new credit, but then it'll obviously shorten your time span with regards to your credit in general. And your timeline on your credit a lot of times is what is a large part of your FICO score, your credit history, paying over a long time and not having any late payments. Secondly, if you're going to start building credit, in general, I wouldn't necessarily recommend charge cards. I would recommend a secured credit card or an authorized user. And myth number 5, co-signing for a loved one's credit will not affect your FICO score. Now, as an authorized user, it'll affect your credit score, but at the end of the day, you can get it off of your credit report as an authorized user. But when you co-sign for someone, you're actually signing on the dotted line, basically stating that if that person defaults on the payment, you'll be held liable. The whole reason why someone needs a co-signer is because the credit is not so good. And so then they get you to actually co-sign. But once that individual messes up, doesn't make a payment, makes a late payment, or whatever the circumstance is with regards to not paying that account that you co-signed for, you're held liable. And a lot of times on the debt collection side, I go after the co-signer more so than the actual original person, because I know that the original person had bad credit to begin with. The co-signer, chances are they had good credit, a place of employment, and so forth. And so a lot of times by going after that person, you're going to guarantee yourself a more chance of getting the money, or at least them putting fire under the person they co-signed to have them pay with regards to an account. So when you co-sign, understand whoever you do it for, you're going to be held liable for whatever it is that they do. If they do great, great. If they do bad, it's going to hurt you. And chances are, if someone needs a co-signer, they're going to probably default or mess up. Now, understand something with regards to credit. The more knowledge you get, the more understanding you have. The more understanding you have, the better your situation will be with regards to your credit score. If you have any questions about credit or debt, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. And as always, you